and uh, and and we have a fairly low number of folks here. Gauri might be coming, so perhaps Sonali could just message Gauri. Thank you. So I'll just introduce you, then we'll start off. So ताकि जो भी आप
Fantastic.
कह रहे हैं
Okay.
कम से कम record हो जाए. अच्छा, now folks have started. Chलिए, let's wait a couple of more minutes.
Yeah, I think so. They're joining in now.
जी.
So I didn't know that in India, Masonic thing is becoming so big.
Becoming so big, Nia. It's been around. What are you saying? Masons have been in India for donkey's years because pehle we had these other constitutions, right? We had the English constitution,
Yes,
and the English constitution has been here ever since the British were here. So, which is why in
correct.
almost every cantonment you would have seen Masonic lodges, no? जहाँ से भी जाते
Yes,
हो, जहाँ भी cantonment होता है, you see that familiar square and compass
yes.
symbol. You see that. So that came then alongside the British. The Irish Constitution also came. The not Irish, sorry, the Scottish Constitution came.
Exactly.
Then we have the Indian Constitution was formed somewhere in the 50s, I think. So that was there. So
Okay.
it's not very popular, but it's 25-30,000 Masons to हैं ही India.
Oh, very good. Very good.
So in fact, I was first initiated into the Grand Lodge of Upper India. That was a new constitution which somebody started because he wasn't made Grand Master, so he got irritated and said, "Screw you all, I'm going to start my own constitution." So he started his own constitution. Unfortunately, वो 5 lakh तक ही रहा, but that's where I was initiated. Then I became this thing in the English constitution. Then I joined the Scottish constitution, and now finally the Indian constitution.
Okay.
Four
So
constitutions. So anyway, so guys, it'll be wonderful if you could keep your cameras on. That'll be wonderful because otherwise we could just record this and put it on YouTube. Yeah, you don't get to see your smiling faces now, do we? So please try and put on your cameras. We have with us here Vinny Sujan. Vinny Sujan is a life between lives therapist. What that means is what he does is talk to people about demystifying, exploring. Vinny, please correct me if I'm going wrong. Demystifying,
no, it's
exploring,
okay.
and otherwise working on the space between death and life. Space between life and death, we're all aware of, and we're all doing our best to screw it up as much as we could. But he helps us from not screwing up the space between death and life. So death and life is in his opinion about the writing of contracts, where apparently we get down and write our own contracts, define our own lives, what happens, who we meet, who we don't, what we do, and all of those things. Yes, Sushma, yeah, I can see that, right? So you really ought to check out his previous sessions. वो सब YouTube पर है, आप उसको कभी देखिएगा. So he speaks about that. As I was sharing earlier, some schools of thought talk about how children are to be indebted to their parents for looking after them, whereas what Vinny's insight is that parents are the one who are indebted to the children, which is why they are in their service all life long. Anyway, so Vinny gets all his data from downloads and meditative downloads. He usually doesn't really read stuff, and he gets all his information from downloads. And even when he's talking, he typically just goes ahead and talks, which is why just some time ago I was asking him कि अगर repeat करना तो कर लोगे ना? He said हाँ, लेकिन same नहीं होगा. But anyway, so that is that. So this session, guys, is about the soul contracts of LGBTQ folks and why they choose that. Now, because as per Vinny, we all define our experiences. That means we write what orientation we are, who will be our spouses and partners, and all of that. So therefore, it stands to reason that LGBTQ souls souls have chosen to be LGBTQ humans. And that's what he's going to be talking about. Hey, Aarti, lovely to see you here now. And that's what he's going to be talking about: LGBTQ soul contracts, how, why, where, when, and all of those things. So, Vinny, over to you, sir. You are the co-host, so please close the meeting whenever you're done. I will be following you from my car while I'll be driving. You guys have a lovely time. I'm sorry to be missing this one. Look forward to seeing the recording. Take care, guys.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Look forward to your session, Vinny.
Okay, thank you, Siddharth. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Okay, so he gave a fantastic introduction. Even I was amazed at what he was saying. Okay, so guys, welcome to this Saturday's talk. Okay, so before we start, let me tell you, I will be using a lot of words like gays, lesbians, etc., etc., but with all due respect. Okay, so we can define it properly. We can talk more freely about it. Okay, so let me just tell you very fast what are soul contracts. Basically, soul contracts are just before, because this is souls just don't come here and then they decide how to live their life. So they have what we call the karmic debt to be taken in account for. So according to that, we define what experiences we are going to have. So it's a very detailed contract. Okay, very detailed contract. The only thing and very fantastic thing what we leave out is a right to choose. Okay, so that is why at every time we are given a yes or no, left and right questions like this in life, and we have a right to choose. So there is a basic contract what we have, which defines us: where are we born, whose family are we going to born, and what are we going to do, stuff like that. And then which partner to choose, how we are going to live our life. That is again a very deeper contract. So what happens to the people, the LGBTQ community people? How are they coming with different contracts, and why are they choosing these kind of contracts? Okay, that is also very important for us to know. So now let's start from the beginning, because this very recently happened in India, that this community was basically officially recognized. Okay, and now you can be a gay or lesbian out in the open. Okay, but before that, even in our Mahabharata, Ramayana, and in our Shastras, we have always been mentioned about this community. Okay, so it is not something new to Hinduism on the basis. It is not new to any religion for that matter. Okay, the only thing is now everybody is recognizing them. So we find a lot of these people around us now. But what is happening is we suddenly see an upsurge of these kind of souls. Okay, before it was not like that. It is not that they used to not exist, but suddenly there has been an upsurge, if you would have observed. So why is that happening? Why are the souls choosing to be the LGBTQ community inside within the LGBTQ communities? Okay, so now, like I was talking before to Siddharth and everybody else who was present over here, so after 2012 and very recently now, the vibrations of our earth, Mother Earth, have changed very drastically. So the souls who have been coming, okay, are coming with more challenges written for them. Number one. Number two, even in our Indian Shastras, it is always written, if you do not learn the karmic lesson now, you have to be born with a more tougher karmic lesson. Okay, in your next birth. So these two things are functioning at a more higher speed now. People are deciding, the souls are deciding what debts they had to repay in, let's say, 10 different lives or 50 different lives. They are deciding to repay them now in smaller lives. So the lives are becoming more concentrated. Okay, and that is why there is such a big upsurge in the LGBTQ community, because these souls are asking for more challenges for themselves. Okay, because as soon as I'm born like one, okay, or through my experiences, I convert into one, okay, I start to face a lot of challenges in my life. Correct? And because I want to clear off my karmic debt faster than what I'm supposed to in my previous births. So I am deciding to come back to the earth, taking a human form and creating more challenges. So that is why they face a lot of resistance and acceptance. Although, okay, officially they have been accepted, but there is still resistance in accepting them. Okay, resistance from their own family members. Their own family members sometimes are not ready to accept them, and they go through hardships. Correct? Suddenly, because of my sexual priorities, my mother and father don't love me anymore, or they are ashamed of me. So imagine they also go through those emotional sufferings. That creates more challenges for myself. But the biggest reason why am I choosing to do this? So I told you one point was karmic. Okay. Now, in our lives, the only person I always forget, I remember my mother-in-law who was cruel to me, or my father who was very strict, or the teachers, or my life partner, no, who were bad. I always remember that. And I remember only a few good people around me. The only person I forget in my life is me, myself. Okay, so here I am after 30, 40 years, 50 years of my life, and I look back at myself and I said, shit, I have done nothing from what my bucket list I had imagined to do. Okay, now what happens to this kind of a soul is next birth it is born, and it is born contrary to the society norms. Contrary to the society norms, where a male and female are only to be bonded physically into a marriage or whatever. Okay, can have a family, can go ahead with the children. So here I am born, I choose to be born with a challenge where 24/7 my whole concentration was on me, myself. I'm completely different now. Okay, so much so that even my own family members might have the choice to reject me. So that keeps on putting the pin back again on me, myself. That is why there are some features of the LGBTQ community. So you guys who are therapists, who are coaches, can learn to recognize these things. Okay. Number one is you will find them always living in closed community, because not a lot of people understand them. So they make a very closed circle. Okay. The other trait of them is they are highly artistic people. Most of them are very, very artistic. Okay, more artistic. See, a gay man, if you see, if the way he dresses up, even if he decides to dress up as a woman, he will be outstanding. The way they do their makeup will be outstanding. Why? Because in this life, when he chose to be one, okay, so the womanhood which he's wanting to enjoy and he's not getting. So when he does his makeup, he will do better than a woman. When he walks, he will do better than a woman. Why? Because he's trying to not only tell himself, but tell all the women folks around, look at what you have got. Okay, what are you missing in life? Okay, lot of times when women see them, there are a lot of designers who are gay. Okay, a lot of makeup artists who are gay, and their work is so fantastic. They bring out the life out of the beauty out of the person. Yeah. Why? Because they know what they are missing out, and they know how to appreciate it. Okay, so they are very, very what we call particular about a lot of things in life. Okay, and then comes in one aspect in them is because of these plus points. Okay, like living in a closed group, appreciating the, what we can say, for a gay man, appreciating the opposite sex more than the opposite sex appreciates itself. Okay, more than a woman will appreciate it herself, a gay person will appreciate a woman more. Okay, then this is something which recently also was told by somebody to me, is women feel more secure in their company. Okay, women can open up more easily into their company. A woman to woman, they might have inhibitions to talk, but a gay man will understand a woman even more better. How is it possible? How does that happen? Okay, because over here he's more open to your challenges, and he's pushed the boundaries one up, that he's got a body of a male, so he understands the masculinity. Okay, and he's living the mentality of a woman, so it makes it more easier for you to communicate as a woman to him, and makes it more easier for him to understand the woman side, the feminine side of a person. Okay, that is the reason why they appreciate it even more than a normal person of a feminine gender. Okay, now with all these positive traits, what comes in? Anger and jealousy. These are two things which we see very highly in these people. Okay, they are highly jealous, and their angers have no bounds. Okay, now one day I will do a talk on anger management, but what happens is anger is a form of energy. Okay, so it is just the way we perceive it. So their anger is very imaginative, so their anger is completely different. Just like they can be very imaginative in whatever they wear, how they handle themselves and everything, so their anger also has no bounds. It's a side of creativity, okay, but which goes out of control. Okay, plus why they have more uh, percentage of anger is because of the rejection from the society around. Okay, so their anger level is even more. Correct. Why is the jealousy level more in them? The jealousy level is more in them because if they accept somebody, so understand this, a person who's faced a lot of rejection in their lives, from their parents, from their friends, from their for their sexual preferences, once they accept somebody into their life, it is a very big thing for them. Okay, so here is where, when they are being rejected, they feel very jealous of, from the couple side. Okay, if a gay couple is living together or they have a relationship together, and they are uh, not being true to themselves, so the jealousy point in them, jealousy is a lot. Okay, another point for them is to be noted is they are highly competitive. They are very competitive persons. Now, why is this reason that these three things they have in kind of an extreme than the normal people? Normal people, okay, why do they have these things more? Is because when I come with more challenges, when I have decided to complete my 10 lives karmic debt into one life, okay, so I am more serious than anyone else about my job. Okay, I cannot be more fun loving, more not fun loving, I cannot take my life more at ease. So I am more on my toes throughout my life, because I have already decided that in this life I am going to create more challenges so that I can get a settlement of 10 or 12 karmic debt lives. Okay, so if I've chosen that, I have to be more serious about what I'm doing, more competitive about what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the reason why they have all these three traits. They snap very easily. Okay, they snap very easily on things. Okay, and so again, a question to be answered is, why are we seeing such a big surge of the LGBTQ community around us? It is a sign of the universe to show us that you are an infinite being. And that is the reason that these souls are deciding to come faster, face more challenges than the others. Because as like I told you, after 2022, after this year, you will see the world changing at a much faster rate than what most of us maybe must have been born, where there was only one landline telephone in the whole colony, no? And then we saw the mobile coming, and mobile changing the whole, it's like the reinventing of the wheel. If we are surprised by this kind of a technology, wait for 10 more years. In 10 more years, you will say, we had never ever imagined that this all is going to happen. Because things around us are changing more faster. So the infinity of being, okay, or me being an infinite being, the fact is coming to me more faster. Okay, so this is the reason that these souls have decided that they even decide to get married, they even decide to raise children together. Okay, they're creating their own world, telling them that being a male or a female does not matter. Understand, you people, that you guys are infinite. You can do what you want. You can achieve what you want in life. So imagine, these souls have decided and have taken this upon themselves, because they are highly advanced souls, to show the normal people, okay, supposedly, that life is about infinity. Okay, so one more thing is that these souls are highly advanced souls. That is the reason they come and decide like this. That is the reason they have the capacity to go through these emotional and physical challenges. And normally here we in India, most of us are scared to go to the hospital for a normal operation, which the doctors say you have to get it done. Imagine somebody trying to do that, to change their whole body configuration. Okay, how difficult, financially expensive, and mentally draining that is. Not just for them, but for their whole soul group, their family, their friends, whatever. Okay, but they do decide to come with the challenge. So they are here to show us how infinite a human being can be. Okay. So once the soul decides to be born like this, there are two ways. It decides to switch over. Okay. One is, nowadays you'll see more children, or more gays or lesbians. From the young age only, you can make a difference that, okay, he's this boy is being bent towards more being a feminine kind of a child. Okay, or this girl looks more of a tomboyish kind of a child. Okay, so one is this soul groups, and it is being seen and being observed more than before. 30-40 years before, it was not that the children were being born like this. Now more children are being born like this, so the soul is already deciding that I will be born like this. So they recognize their choice of being earlier in life. Okay, here children are at 11, 12, 13 years of age deciding, or already exploring or getting into being that yes, I am a boy, but I like to grow up as a girl. A lot of this is happening around us. Okay, before it was not that much, or very, very unusual cases, once in a million cases. And the other way they do decide to switch over is because of their experiences. Okay, so there are ones who are born with this, so they already know, so their mentally you have to work less with them. And there are those who choose it as an experience. So those who choose it as an experience, they go through a lot of difficult experience and moments in their lives, okay, to then decide that what their sexual preference is. Okay, sometimes boys are being raped by men or things like that. No, things like that. Very, very, very highly charged emotional experiences they have, and to help them decide. Okay, so please understand this, that to understand them better, it is very important for us to know when did they decide this shift in their minds about their sexual preferences. Okay, this will help us define and understand them even more better. Okay. The other thing is, we see nowadays a lot of men and women who have families, who have children, and then they're deciding that this is not what their sexual preference is or was. We have a lot of cases like that happening, that suddenly he's married, he has children, and they decide, no, 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 this is not what I'm supposed to go through and live for. Okay, so how and why this thing is happening for us? Okay, because like I said, because of the change in the vibration of the planet Earth, change in our humanity, change in the way the soul is moving and looking at things, so the soul is being pushed towards understanding and accepting more openly the choice of how I want to live my life. And the same thing goes for the high rate of divorces nowadays. Okay, because both the couples are deciding and are more firm of, this is not what I want in life. Number one. Number two, being open to the adventure of life. Being open to adventure of life. That is the reason a lot of people are trying out a lot of different profession, uh, trying a different way of life, is only because they are more into making their choices. Okay, so the decision about making choices for myself has also gone more higher than ever before. Correct? Okay. Now the big question, why would parents want children like that? Why do the parents want to go through that pain? Okay, because it's still pain and suffering. Because imagine you have a boy child being born, especially in the Asian subcontinent, let's say, or wherever else. It depends on the the person's mentality and individuality, how easily and how faster they accept this. Okay, so why do the parents choose this? So let me correct you. The parents do not choose their children. It is the child soul which chooses the parents. Okay, and it is a contract between the child and the parents. Okay, to define a few things to them. One of them is
asking questions will help you access your knowing. It is not.
So one of the challenges what they are facing is, one of the decisions between the parents and the child is that the child is going to show the parents what infinity actually means. Okay, what taking a choice actually means in life. Okay, so this is for the bigger lesson for the parents to understand what is infinite. So I do not need to live in a closed door life. Okay, what was happening? For this to understand, we have to look at the generation. Okay, somebody send me a message, I'll read that later. Okay, so please understand what was happening. And if we see the pattern of life and generations coming, in our last generation, people were only working towards security, sense of security. I have to have a house, I have to pay for a house, I have to have a good job, I have to have a secure future for my children. Okay, I have to make enough property for my old age, security of my old age. Okay, I have to invest. That was the priority of life for a mother and a father also. So this was the pattern we have been following. Now in the coming generations, the pattern has changed, correct? Now because these souls have been living like that, so there comes in a new soul which says, hey, you are losing out on living your life. Okay, and because you are losing out on living your life, we have come to show you how to change this. So here is where it comes. In my previous births, if I have not concentrated on myself, if I'm only concentrating on food, water, and shelter, okay, like the basic needs of life, then I will come as one of these souls where no matter what, no matter how good a child I am, because of my sexual preference, everything will be concentrated on me only. There are either people are going to love me or they're going to hate me. Okay, I have to find my way out. Correct? Imagine how difficult it is. Now, as a male can approach any female because that's the sexual preference of the whole, like what we call in the normal way of gender thing, no? But imagine a male who's a gay and he falls in love with somebody who's not a gay. How difficult that situation becomes. So I'm giving you this example just for us to understand that how challenging it is for them. So the whole concentration comes back on me again and again. Okay, I see women are so beautiful, I do their makeup so fantastically well, but I have to live in the body of a male. Okay, so for us to understand, these souls have taken a birth because in previous past lives they were not doing what they were supposed to do. Okay, thinking and concentrating about themselves. So when they are coming now, they are putting all the whole concentration on themselves. And why do they make groups? Why are they living in closed groups? Because the outsiders, for them to explain what is going on between their head and body is difficult for them to explain to other people. But with their own community, it is very easy for them to understand. Number one. Number two, like I said, these souls are more advanced because they have chosen a challenge in life. Okay, so their vibrational symphony is more higher or more different, you can say, than the normal human being. So that is the reason they decide to surround themselves with like-minded people. And this is the reason for their creative instincts to be more higher than others. Okay, their creativity is more higher than others because their perspective at looking at things is with a big push from what they are themselves is infinity. They are true examples of a human being becoming infinite. Okay. I guess we can start with some question answers. Yes, please.
After being born in LGBT community, do they again prefer to reborn again in the same community?
That's a preference of choice. So they can choose. They can choose to be. They can choose. I mean, this is, see, the only thing is, yes, this is a fact which I've mentioned before also, is that a soul after being born nearly 100 times as a male can decide to be born as a female. Okay, and then they can decide, like Siddharth was saying, he saw his life as a woman and then he's a male in this birth. So then later on you can choose what you want to be born as. So it's the future depends on them, how they are to be reborn, how a soul likes to be reborn. Okay, so it's not that there is a certain pattern in that, because once you go over there, once you're a small light, again you are an infinite being, so you decide your plan then. Okay,
Right.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
Ankita.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, as you mentioned about soul contracts.
Yes.
So, how does one actually get into those contracts or release them? Either ways.
Okay, how you get into that is because when you're in the soul form, that is when you write your contracts. Okay, so you come written with those contracts. Okay, but then you give yourself a very big upper hand is making choices in life. Okay, so yes, you can come with a soul contract, any kind of a soul contract, but because these soul contracts are based on the fact that you as a human being are infinite, so that choice you are born with. That is why maybe you are born, maybe a person is born in a very poor family, he becomes a billionaire, or maybe he's born in a millionaire family and he becomes a poor person. So those things are left to us, and that is what is the power of choice. Or the, and like I said, it is, you are writing them when you understand that you are an infinite being, so you are very creative at writing whatever you want. They can be, yes. And coming to your other part of your question, yes, you can change your soul contracts.
How does one do that? I mean, I'm not saying a soul contract with self, but it could be a soul contract with any relation that you've picked up in life. I mean, whether you did that contract with parents or someone else.
Okay,
Does
so
that?
yes, so see, Ankita, the thing is, what question you are asking is, if I'm being bothered with one of my relatives or my family members or whatever, how it can be released, right? Am I right?
Yeah, something on those lines. Can you do away with that soul contract? A release?
Yes.
Or...
So see, what happens is, you cannot change the other person's contract, or you cannot expect, or you don't change the other person. The only thing is you can increase your vibration, or you can increase your understanding by a lot of ways, no, by a lot of ways through therapies or whatever, and you can disconnect with them. So what they are doing, they can continue doing, but it should not bother you. Okay, just for a simple example, like
Got it.
yeah, you have a television and you're 5 people sitting over here. Everybody would want to watch a different channel, correct? Okay, now the television is you, and you are giving your remote control to all these people around you, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your relative, whether it's your in-laws, whatever, XYZ. Okay, the moment I take my remote control back, I'm in control of myself. So that is what is life about. Okay, and yes, I have mentioned in my previous talks also, the biggest crime in the soul world is when I try to take control of the other soul, or I let somebody else take control of me. So if you are being bothered by somebody, that means you're doing one of those biggest crimes. You're letting them take control of you. Okay, and that is why I told you, what they are doing, let them continue doing. What you should work on is, this is not going to affect me anymore.
Okay.
Okay, and yes, you can go through that, through regressions, through lot of modalities, lot of different modalities are there. And yes, some of them even I do, and yes, you can get rid of that very fast and very easily. Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you so much. Anybody else, any other questions? Okay, so somebody said, okay, the non-LGBT people are called cisgender and the lesbian gay are called homosexual, called heterosexuals. Okay, yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Anuja. Okay. Okay, anybody else? Any more questions? Okay, are we good with time, or because I go according to my timing over here? Yeah. Okay. So let me continue. So like I was mentioning, these people are very, very competitive also. Okay, very competitive. You'll see them highly charged. Why is that so? Because like we said, in a smaller amount of time, they want to do more and more. Okay, why is that so? Because again, they have sacrificed their 10 future lifetimes and taken everything to do now. Everything to do now. Okay, so please understand how beautiful this community is, and how more advanced they are. Okay, and how we should accept them, and if people come to us, to the coaches who are here, maybe come to work with us, we can understand what is actually happening behind them, what is actually happening around them. Okay. So what is, any more questions, anybody else? Okay, 2 participants. Yeah, Soumya, yeah, please go ahead. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Vinny.
Hi.
So my question is, so you were saying that for 10 lifetimes, the
Yes.
whole karma phala, they want to experience it in one lifetime, the entire karma phala, whatever it is.
Yes.
So why has the soul chosen to take so much of pain and so much of karma phala in only one lifetime? Why? What could be the reason that.
Okay. So please understand this, that every human being who comes over here comes for the experience, and they want to go back to their source, getting enlightenment and going back to their source. Okay, this is our journey basically. During this journey, we start
Yeah.
developing karmas and stuff like that. Okay. So now, if I know that I have a karmic debt of about maybe 5 million, 10 million, okay, so I need to pass through, and if I'm in every lifetime, I'm only able to clear a debt of maybe 1 million, 1.5 million karmic debt. So then I decide, okay, I have lived long enough, and this karmic lifetime, I, instead of having 10 more rebirths, I choose to be born now and clear off most of my debt. Okay, so that is the reason they do decide. Having said that, that does not mean, okay, I have decided, okay, 10 lifetimes, so I will achieve enlightenment in this lifetime. If I'm born as a homosexual, then I will attain my enlightenment in this life. That is nothing, that part is not guaranteed. Okay, but to reduce their karmic debt, they choose to have a lifetime like that. Okay, just like Buddha also, before his enlightenment, he had some 635 odd lives he had lived. Okay, and in this life he chose to be born as a king, but wander up around to teach us about enlightenment. Okay, so that is the reason a soul decides. Sometimes even after getting enlightenment, the soul decides to come back. Okay, to show other people the way, path to enlightenment. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I hope
Okay.
you have answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody
Yes,
else
yes, yeah.
who
Thank
has a question to do? Because I think it's time enough. So, yeah, okay. So, thank you very much, guys. We'll end it over here, and I hope I could give you quite a few bit of an insight of what this is all about. And thank you very much for being here and joining me for this chat. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Thank you.